Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you are all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And what do you know, there's a major update that has just dropped to Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War right in the middle of Super Week. Now, it's pretty interesting, right? Because a lot of these things are going to have major impacts on how competitive play plays, we imagine, for the rest of this week. Back in the day in like LAN events, they used to, if there was a major patch update, quite often the tournament organizers would just not update any of the PS4s, and then they would just play on the old patch. But given like we're now at home and everyone has their own PCs, I don't really think that'll be possible to enforce. So it seems to me we're probably going to be playing on all these updates over the coming days, and there is a lot to run through here. Intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new, as always I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. First of all, just wanted to mention this overall KD leaderboards from yesterday, day 2. Pretty incredible to see that the 4 guys on the New York Subliners were the top 4 performing players of the day. Clay, Asim, Mac Melts, Diamond God in terms of KD. Massive bounce back from Mac Melts especially, definitely a showing why he deserves a spot here on the starting lineup. When Hydra gets out to the States, who knows exactly what the move will be for the Subliners. Maybe they will just stick with this starting 4 if they continue to perform well. Wanted to mention a couple of things as well that maybe have been issues with the stream. This I thought, certainly this really frustrates me whenever we go to a listen-in. The fact that we're basically watching Black Ops 2 Codcaster once again, if you guys remember that. But yeah, they put the game up on this really small, it's not like incredibly small, but compared to the size of the screen, it's much smaller than it should have to be, surely. Can barely see what's going on here. Yes, it's an Astro listening, I understand they have to do the sponsor stuff, but surely this Astro logo could like just be moved up to the top left, and you could already make this box significantly bigger. Like the player cams at the bottom seem irrelevant unless you're actually going to put their actual cameras on, which would be pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. This is just something that is kind of annoying when we go to a listening. I wish they would do something about the overlay to make this a little bit easier to watch, especially for new players maybe that you know, don't really understand why they have to see the screen in a tiny little box. It can be hard enough to read at times anyway. This as well, like I just think that every single, before every map, after every map, this skirt track is really getting on my nerves, and I just can't help it. Like I didn't mind it initially, but the fact that like before every map, after every map, it's always on. It's like, come on lads, we've got to get some sort of new tracks on the horizon, because they have like 2 tracks right now, and yeah, it gets very frustrating to deal with, and Clay's making fun of it right here. And also just wanted to mention this real quick, that Tommy got banned off Twitch yesterday was pretty interesting. Was soon unbanned though. I think there was some sort of mix-up or a mistake, I think they even said on Twitch's part, as to why he got banned. That's a pretty major mistake to make, but whatever. That is now resolved if you guys saw that and didn't see the resolution in the end. This I thought was funny as well from JP Krez. I'm pretty sure we just won the fastest control. That was Subliners versus the London Royal Ravens yesterday ever in a pro match. 5 minutes 36 from start to finish on checkmate. The previous record was 100 Thieves versus Midnight, and as Sean says right here, this is well, Parasite was actually in both. So Parasite broke his own record in terms of getting destroyed in a control as quickly as possible. He did actually play quite well in the series, so I don't want to like bag on him or anything. He was probably the player that kept them in that series the most, but yeah, still certainly not the best result of this control right here. And I thought I'd mention this as well real quick from Bance, that he says 32 in 19 EKIA he had against FaZe, but on the scoreboard he was actually 16 in 19. So I guess KD doesn't really mean so much. It's more like a damage, I think. Like I don't really want to have EKIA up on the scoreboard, because EKIA doesn't really mean too much. Like eliminations, right? You just shoot someone once and you get the kill for it. It's probably more about damage, like damage to kills ratio might be something a little bit more interesting to look at. So maybe we can deal with well, how we deal with the stats over at Breaking Point in time. But yeah, certainly something I thought was relatively interesting. So let's talk about this. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, right? The fact that Matt Sconso, the guys over at Trek, were saying that look, we're going to look to change where P4 is on Crossroads. The first one over by that tank, then you've got like the bottom room of that kind of 3-story building, then you've got the bottom room where the B-bomb site is, and then the 4th hill has changed a couple of times already, and well, the spawns on that hill over at the far back side there, over where the 3rd hill is well, they're pretty much a nightmare. So they decided to change the hill to here. So on Crossroads, it's now around this like A-bomb type box. It's actually a kind of small hardpoint. I'm not even sure how the spawns would work on this one. I imagine they've had to program them or code them so they at least work to some degree, but it's going to be really tough to say what's going to go on, because as I say, I imagine we're playing on this patch this week. Does it mean that all the teams just veto Crossroads and they just say, okay, we haven't had time to practice on this one, we're just going to get rid of it and not play it for the rest of the week, which maybe is what they do, but maybe it'll slip through the veto on a couple of maps and we can actually see how this plays out in reality. But I'm sure a lot of teams that have no idea really how to even approach this hill, how to rotate to it. I'm not sure it's going to play great. I mean, this map almost seems too small to have a perfect 4th hardpoint, but if it works, then fair play, and maybe it will work to some great degree. I mean, I'm sure trophies are going to be very useful on this one, with nades flying in left, right and centre from all directions. Going to be very tough to stay alive on the hill, that is for certain. So this is where it is right now, and in UP4 from a slightly different angle right here. So there's definitely some cover, but it's going to be really intriguing to see how exactly this plays out in reality. I think it makes sense probably of where to put it in theory, but it's just I'm not sure exactly it's going to work. We'll have to see exactly what happens this week if it does indeed get played, if we are playing on this patch, which as I say, I believe we will be, but it's not exactly confirmed. I don't even think Treyarch has of yet come out with any patch notes or anything to say exactly what is going on right here. So let's also talk about this. One-way smokes being fixed. This is a major deal, right? We talked so much about the fact that Search and Destroy is just a nightmare. Smokes got banned in GBs, then they got brought back to 1. You know, of course you can lose them in League play, and they're very frustrating indeed to deal with. So look at this, right? You go into a smoke and your entire screen just goes grey at the present time. Now it does look kind of clunky, and you know, I can kind of understand why people are clowning this a little bit, but it does actually make a lot of sense in terms of what to do right here, because in Counter-Strike, this is exactly what happens, right? You drop a smoke down and it's just completely opaque. If you run into the smoke, it's just going to be completely opaque. You cannot see through it at all, and yeah, that's just how it works. And that means, in effect, that it's not the play to make in Counter-Strike to just run through a smoke grenade. You don't want to drop a smoke, have to run through it and not see anything at all, and then come out the other side, because if someone's looking at it from the other side, they're going to see you before you see them, and they're just going to take you down every single time. Now, the smokes being like this means that running through a smoke is not really a viable strategy. As you can see, you still can slightly see through it. So the one-way issue doesn't seem to have completely been fixed, but the problem with like putting down a smoke and then running through it, like you see a lot of people do on like Moscow A bomb site, just chuck a smoke down, sprint through it, and the defenders can't really do much. They get no aim assist. Their long-range fights don't even work because, yeah, they've got issues dealing with this whole smoke grenade thing. But now if you're just running through a smoke, you might be an easy target coming out the other side. And it seems to me that these smoke grenades will probably more be used to actually block off a line of sight like they are intended to do. You can imagine throw one of these down at like the B bomb site or the A bomb site or something over at on Miami, for example, right here, to block off a line of sight to say, okay, you know, we're going to fake a B play by trying to smoke at B. They don't get information on whether we're going to the site. Then we're going to rotate to A, all this type of stuff. So it seems to me that there's a decent chance now as a result of this that smokes come back into play. And if that is the case, we may also see snipers come back, because we've definitely heard the rumours, or like at least from the professional side, that the fact that snipers aren't in the game is because the smoke grenades are so strong, the fact that they, you know, they don't really work properly due to the one-ways they decided to get rid of the smokes. Therefore, snipers are going to be too strong in an environment where you can't counter them and will lock them out of the round with a smoke grenade. Now, if they bring back smokes, maybe 1 or 2 per team, then we certainly have a situation where snipers could come back in full force. I would certainly love to see it, and I think it's only a matter of time until it happens. Maybe a few tweaks still need to be made to these one-ways though, because, well, as Arcitys says right here, in a since deleted tweet, I didn't see anything, because in this tweet you can still see you can still one-way these smokes to some degree. So clearly not perfect, but definitely a step in the right direction, even though it does look a little bit clunky. But well, if it's effective, then I will certainly take it. Few other things as well. In League play right now, score streaks are locked except for cruise missile and artillery, and guess what? Resetting on death. We talked about this a few days ago, the absolute nightmare it is when you get to a round 5 in control, or the end of a close hardpoint. The streaks just come raining in from all directions. Artillery, cruise missile, if you got a 1600 streak, you get the artillery. 2000 streak, you get the cruise missile. Just like it is in traditional Call of Duty games, to be honest, you do just love to see it. Certainly a step in the right direction there. This, another interesting one, from Drazah to Intel, they point out our, well, Moscow has changed quite significantly. Before, the map looked like this, as I'm sure you guys are familiar with at this point. Then afterwards, they've made it, well, somewhat smaller. Really, it doesn't really affect the playable space, because in the back here, like, no one would really use this area back here, and also to the back right, except in, like, prop hunts or something like that. But you see they've kind of chopped off certain elements of the map, which probably isn't going to affect much, but it's still a step in the right direction. And I think they see in this tweet right here, you can see kind of how they've dealt with it with the barriers and the metal fencing and stuff like this to kind of deal with those certain elements of the map. This as well, which is pretty interesting. You guys, I'm sure if you played League play and such, you'll have recognized that in hardpoints, you could always capture the first hardpoint from up top on the statue, but in control, you weren't able to do so. They've now done it as well, that in hardpoint, you can also no longer capture raid P1 from the top of the statue. So that's an interesting change, maybe a step in the right direction. I think some of the pros were pretty frustrated about this, especially with how easy it is to hop up there. Now you can just hop up there in one jump. It was back in the day in Black Ops 2, it took 2 jumps to get up there. So pretty interesting to see. But as Grove points out right here, overkill is still, for now, a thing in League play. But some of the changes this week, to me, certainly seem like a step in the right direction. Very excited to see where this goes next. And well, what we see in action this week, right, if this patch is played on, which I imagine it will be, then Raiders change to some degree. Maybe they will just veto Crossroads, but the smoke grenades, there's so many questions here, right, as to exactly what will happen this week. Maybe some other silent changes changes have been made which we haven't noticed, which well, might come in the patch notes whenever exactly they are revealed. This was interesting as well. I thought I'd share this clip with you guys real quick because, well, MajorManiak on stream last night was looking through some of their, well, the maps in custom games, and Express has mysteriously just been removed. So not sure what's going on there, not sure if something was broken with it, maybe they're changing it to some degree. Yeah, it seems really strange to me, maybe it's some sort of accident, I don't really know. But there's still the question mark as to exactly when, if ever, we're going to have Express in competitive play, which I thought maybe would have happened by now in Search and Destroy, but well, it now seems to have been entirely removed from custom games, so it doesn't seem like that is on the horizon. So just before I show that clip and we finish off the video, I wanted to mention the matches for today, that being the Wednesday, Empire Ravens, Los Angeles Thieves versus Seattle Surge, OpTic versus Ultras. These first two matches, definitely I think Empire and LA Thieves should be favourites in these, not too much doubt about that. But the final match of the day, OpTic Ultra, OpTic should be favourites for sure, especially given that FaZe beat Ultra a couple of days ago. But that was a close series at times. That map number 1 probably should have gone to Ultra, and then we're looking at a game 5 on the cards. I wouldn't be surprised if OpTic Ultra goes to a similar thing. I think OpTic is certainly going to have to clutch up in some of the respawns here, and Search and Destroy is going to be important, because if Ultra can win searches, they're definitely capable of taking a respawn off OpTic, there's no doubt about that. And well, then we could be in for an absolute blockbuster. So intrigued to see how this one develops. Intrigued to hear your thoughts also in the comment section below. And just to finish off with this other clip from Zuma, amateurs are practicing their composure, folks. Love to see it. Thought this is another hilarious clip. I've shown a few of these lately, but yeah, Zuma's stream never gets old at the present time. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm to know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thanks for watching as always, and I will see you next time.
Wait, I don't think I'm trolling, bro.
Wait, it's not there, dude.
I'm getting off, dude.
You guys are obviously both trolling. Like, yeah, man.
Wait, they took the damn map from us, dude.
Wait, bro, if anybody was in my stream right now, I'm literally like going up to make sure like it's not renamed or something, but it's not there, dude.
Bro, are you
They took away the map they gave us?
Wait, it's just out the game?
It could be a garage play. Let's see what Pentagram could do here. He's going to pick up one. He's going to stay alive. Good plays at a Pentagram. He's going to get taken down. The colors are all messed up. He has colorblind mode on. I see yellow, green, and blue. I don't know what the going on, but it is a 3v1 situation, and just like that, they take it. Let's go into an actual game listening. What Pentagram?
Come on, man. You cannot teach that composure, man. Let's go.
I was like pushing that, but I was watching it. I was like, oh my god.
You can't teach that composure, ladies and gentlemen.
Go, man.
Talk about composure.
We are composure.
Oh, man.
Yo, all that practice on our composure, it matters, man. You guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. We're winning that.
Go.
Good shit. All that work on our composure. We are making it happen.
Who's got the tweet,
God, I
man?
love
Who's
you
got
guys.
the
You guys are
tweet?
disgusting.
They love each other, ladies and gentlemen, and their composure is on another level.